When you start a company, every customer, every project is critical to your continued success and staying in business. That same customer focus has been the driving force behind our success and our operation today.
The biggest thing about Classic is we are an entrepreneurial company. Yes, we have technology, yes, we have direct mail, yes, we have print, but by and large, as employees, we are allowed and given a great swath of responsibility to achieve greater for our clients.
We're looking to do great quality, we're looking for accuracy, we're looking for timeliness, we're looking for all of those things to be rolled into one. And you have certain people who look for one out of those three, and I think we really hit the market on people who value all three.
Every single project we do and every single client has their own nuances, and our goal and one of our strengths is that we like to cater to those things.
It's being intuitive to the client needs and an eye for detail. There is a tremendous amount of detail required in any position that provides graphics or direct mail. It's as if that project is yours. It's not just theirs. You take full ownership of it, and you take every precaution and everything you can do to make it work perfectly.
Our data area is a second-tier secure area. What I mean by that is that there's only a handful of people now of employees that actually has badge access to this area.
Because we have so many financial clients, we've had to embrace this mindset, and there are requirements like train all the employees every year. We have additional training depending on your role. If you're dealing with data every day, you're going to have a whole lot more security controls you're subject to. But because it has been part of what we do for so long, everybody's aware of it. 27001 is a certifiable system, so external auditors can come in and say, yes, you're meeting all the requirements of 27001. There isn't a certification per se for HIPAA. So HIPAA High-Tech is a set of requirements that have a lot of overlap with 27001. There's some specifics that go beyond 27001. In that space, there's really a desire to be able to say we're certified. There isn't a certification to obtain. So what we've done to try to address that is we have added to our third-party audit the requirements that go beyond 27001 specifically for HIPAA. So we are HIPAA High-Tech compliant, and our ISO 9001/27001 auditor is not only auditing for 27001 requirements when he comes in and looks at InfoSec, but he's also looking at whether or not we meet HIPAA High-Tech requirements on top of that.
So that subgroup of people processes that data. They're looking for postal optimization, because one of the biggest expenses in any project is postage. So we're looking at the best way to optimize this list, whether that is pre-sorting it or maybe even setting it up where we're drop shipping it directly into different parts of the country.
I get to create systems around the idea that it could look like this or it could look like that, and we have to be efficient and we have to be accurate, and we have to do what we say, so we hold ourselves accountable to that. That whole process is something that I've always thrived on. The idea that there are all these moving parts and pieces, and they all just need to come together and then go in the mail truck at the end of the day.
We try our best to standardize things so that there isn't confusion when it gets to production, but we're also very aware that there are boutique projects and things that aren't going to fit every client. So we really work to understand how they work and then build our team model around that.
So now we've completed the data process. The next step in the puzzle is now using this data stream to drive the direct mail piece. They're using standard services like InDesign, Quark Express, and some of our own proprietary software. They're using those triggers to make sure that they're pulling in the right text, the right images, etc. And then they're creating a file that's optimized for whatever output engine, whether that's our HP Indigos or our black and white OSAs or our monochrome laser devices. Our pre-press area works with both our planning department and our estimating department. These are people that have our intimate knowledge of the job. And having them all within earshot of each other, we found has drastically reduced the cycle time on a job.
The project will come in and the specifications are provided. We will quote that for you as an ongoing project or as a one-time project, an ad hoc project. You will release art and data to us, and we will manufacture the art pieces and we will process the data pieces according to your specifications. And once all of that's done, we will send audits to you.
Auditing is really a second look at the art piece with the data applied. We want you to see it with your data applied and make sure the fields are mapped properly, that we're delivering it to the recipient's delivery address and not a residence if that's what kind of mailing it is. So it's the last stop for the client to physically see the piece and say, yes, it is a necessary step to catch any inconsistencies and eliminate surprises once it gets to the recipient.
Once you approve the audit, we move directly into production, and that could look like it inkjets, or that could look like it runs on our digital color, or that could look like it runs on our black and white digital, and then we fold it and insert it, or it could be that it goes into our hand kitting area.
Now we move on to our digital imaging area. This is where we're taking those sensitive files or these variable documents, and we're actually putting those basically ink on paper. Some projects though, the color needs to be variable. And in that case, then it goes into our indigo presses. The indigo presses actually have an extra feature compared to a traditional laser, and the fact that we can have formulated Pantone colors. So if there's a particular color that for a program that doesn't necessarily fit in the typical CMYK color space, and it's not gonna match, the HP Indigos allow us to make that color and use that as a fifth or sixth color.
We want everything that we present or produce to a customer to be consistent. The individual pieces shouldn't call attention to themselves by being obvious that they were printed in a certain area because their colors don't match. Really stringent color calibration and certification is so that we can offer the customer the best possible color match across all of their printing requirements so that they end up with a product that is representative of their brand.
The next thing that we want to show you is there are projects, and the piece that we're showing you today is it's a traditional postcard, a postcard that is static, but the only thing that needs to be done is put an address on there. What we're doing is we're inkjetting that address on, because we can inkjet it 25 and sometimes up to 50,000 pieces an hour. As it's coming off the machine, it is in postal order, so you're maximizing your postage. And we have two technologies in inkjet here at Classic. The first one we're showing you, it's a letter quality. We have used that in a mixed media environment where you can slow it down and it actually is letter class. Where it looks at it, almost looks lasered. The next inkjet technology we're showing you is for when we really need to get a lot of pieces out. And you got a couple of million postcards, and we're really just putting the address on. This device flies. I mean, it's nothing to go 50,000 pieces an hour. We know through testing that a number 10 window envelope gets open less than a number 10 closed-faced envelope or a regular envelope. So why do we use window envelopes so often? Well, one of the reasons why is we're scared, or you're concerned that what you insert in the inside the envelope is not going to match the address on the outside of the envelope. The window solves that. You don't have the cost of inkjetting that envelope, but you also have the potential lower open rate depending on the type of mail piece. What we do here at Classic is we employ something we call read and print. So when we're lasering or personalizing that mail piece or that letter, we're able to, with a simple 2D barcode, we're talking a 1/4 inch, square barcode, we're able to put that in one of the corners. When it's in the inserter, we can read that barcode and follow it all through the device. And we have cameras all along the way. And after the letter has been inserted into the envelope, then and only then, the computer looks up and says, okay, this is Glenn's letter, and I know Glenn's address, and I'm going to inkjet that on the outside of the envelope. But there are projects that, for example, envelopes. Envelopes take a long time to manufacture. So it's not uncommon to have a 2-3 month supply of envelopes, so they need to be stored somewhere. So we're able to store and inventory all of your components for these direct mail pieces. We understand that these components are important to all of us and have extreme value, so we take great pride in our high-end warehousing facility here at Classic. Part of notification type mailings is a special feature that we affectionately call one-each PDFs. And what that means in layman's terms is if we do a 300,000 letter mailing, we have to generate 300,000 unique PDFs. So that in a call center scenario, if somebody calls in and say, hey, I just received a letter, we're able to generate these as individual pages, help upload those into their repository so that call center person can actually call up a copy of what that letter that they received. It also is a great resource in their call centers to be able to reference materials and be able to actually see what their consumer or their customer got in the mail.
We can handle mailings from 2. You get the same level of service as we do for the 1 million piece mailings. We can do anything and all in between, and we are up for the challenge, and we'd love an opportunity to do that for you.
With mailing, our goal is more of an upfront collaboration to know that what happens behind the scenes is going to be accurate. There's no forgiveness at the post office.
Where you have a number of professionals coming together to communicate and work closely together to make sure every project goes out as anticipated on time. And that is just critical to the success of a mailing project in today's environment.